Okay, we are in turn 3. It's 0800 hour. The fog is a roll of 1 to 3, so we need a 4 or higher on the fog to be lifted, and we get crap. Freaking fog still there. And then another bad thing is the British got reinforcements coming in again down at E here. That's what the board looks like. It's Colonial's turn, so let's get the moving. Okay, doing this in wide angle real quick. Just showing you the Colonial moves. We finally got a great roll on the artillery here, so they were able to cruise down on the road here. So I had plans for this artillery to get in here because I just remembered Colonials, if they could occupy one of the British camps or Market Square, and the British, at the end of a British turn, and the British cannot move them off, it's game over. So I brought Washington back in, and he's on a hilltop, so he's going to get a +2 on the combat factor against Grant right here. So this is going to be a pretty cool battle right here. And then I was able to move Sullivan down. He's on the hilltop here, and I was able to move Sterling up here on the hilltop by the Chew House. I'm not going to do this Chew House effects where they go square right here because they can't attack. They can't move and they can't attack. I don't get it. So I'm not even going to bother with that. And then I got Green come down here, and he's on the Kelly's Hill right here. And he's going to go after this disrupted unit right here. So we'll start the Washington attack first, and then we'll work our way over here to Green and see how it goes. This is going to be a cool fight here because combat factor for Washington's 27 and the combat factor for Grant is 27. Washington was 25 plus the 2 on the hilltop. This is going to be cool. Mano y mano. And on the differential, it'll be a 0. Okay, red dice is British. Black dice is Colonial. Okay, Colonial rolled a 1 and the British rolled a 5. So that will be their morale count. Holy crap, man. They rolled... Colonials rolled a 1, and it's a differential of a 0, and it's a attacker's retreat. All units either disrupt or retreat 1 to 3 hexes. Crap, Washington! I almost thought about giving him a disrupt, but that would make it a 27 to 25 because I would definitely have Grant attack them with their disrupt. So I'll go ahead and take the choice and just have him retreat 1 hex back. Oh boy. Okay, maybe we'll get a better outcome here. Green attacking this disrupted unit here. Okay, Green's combat factor is a 24. This infantry here is a combat factor of 3, but you got to subtract the 2, so it's a 1. Yeah, this will be a +10 on the differential easily. British red die, Colonial black die. British rolled a 1 on their morale, and Colonial rolled a 5. Okay, Colonials rolled a 5, so you go to chart, it's obviously a +10, and it's a defense route check. They pass because they rolled a 1, and that's an automatic morale pass. You pass on a roll of a 1 automatically. So they lucked out on that one, the British. So therefore you go to DX, and it's that dumb rule here where if a morale check failed, or if passed, and player chooses, all units disrupted and retreat 1 to 3 hexes. Or retreat or loss. A morale check passed, unit may take a loss. I'm going to give them a loss because they have to stay there next to Market Square. And when it comes to attacking, at least they could add some kind of combat factor for the British General Howe. So we'll give them a loss. But then again, it does say right there that the unit must retreat at least 2 hexes if forced to retreat. Disruption and recovery, 11.0, 11.1 rule. So they have to move back. Okay, obviously I'm not going to have Green advance in here because they'll be in the zone of control with Howe. And he'll be attacked by cavalry and Howe and all that. So just going to leave him there on Kelly's Hill. Colonials are done with their movement and combat phase. Now we're going to do the British movement. Okay, again with that fog hindering movement here. The British, they didn't attack. British regrouped. I was able to roll for the disruption, the recovery on that disrupted unit there. And they rolled a 1, so they were able to remove the disruption off there. So they're free and clear. I took Jaeger and had him and stacked him with that formerly disrupted unit. So now we got two units right here in camp. So they're set. I pulled back the cavalry back here because of the artillery, keeping them here in by the buildings here, and left Howe alone. And I left Knifehausen alone, and backed up Grant here on the hilltop by the camp. The British have nothing, the British, they're just like, hey, come after us, because it's the colonials that are making the attack here. So British are pretty much taken care of, and they're also, where there's buildings, they get an extra combat factor 2 on top. So, and the same with the hilltops and all that. So the colonials got to make a move here. And the problem is now we're going to be going into turn 4, and the colonials have an ammo situation now. They're going to be running out of ammunition here. So let's go ahead and go to turn 4, and we'll roll for the fog, and hopefully the fog is lifted. They need to roll a 4 or higher. Come on, baby, 4 or higher. Yes, the fog is lifted. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Beginning with the 0930 turn, which is this turn, turn 4, the British player may make morale checks for the number of colonial units indicated on the turn record track. For example, on the 1100 turn, it shows ammo 2. They get to do a roll for 2 morale checks may be made. Select that number of undisrupted colonial units. Oh my gosh, any units anywhere on the map. Make a morale check for each. Use the unit's printed morale number without modification by leader. If the unit fails the check, it is disrupted. Oh crap. So the 0930 has an ammo 1, so there's going to be 1 morale check made for each unit, each colonial unit. Ooh. Okay, well, obviously, the British, it's only picked 1 unit for a morale check. So we're gonna pick Washington here. That's who I would if I was the British. They have a morale check of 3. Each unit has 3. So we'll just roll 1 die. And the morale check, they have to have a 3 or lower to pass the morale check. Okay, does Washington's group have ammunition problems? Gotta roll 3 or lower. Oh, they rolled a 3! Yes! Alright, cool. Okay, that's good news. We'll go ahead and start turn 4 with no fog. It's all clear. So it's regular movement and everything is nice. So we'll start the movements with the colonials and see where the battles are going to begin. Here we go, fellas. This is it. See what happens when it's a clear day? We did all the movement. I brought the artillery here because we're on the roadway. So, we get that half point for each hex, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I was able to cruise up and get the artillery up here so they could do support fire against Howe. Got Sullivan, Sterling, and Green all surrounding Market Garden here, Market Square, whatever, Market Garden. And I got Washington moved up over here, and he's going to have a +2 combat factor because of a building. He's in the Hobson House against Grant, who's got a +2 combat factor on the hilltop. So we got this attacking here. If they can move them out of here, and we're taking a chance here. When it comes to British turns, they just gotta defend. Hopefully, they could force 1 to retreat out, and they can move in. And then the same here. So this is gonna be awesome, dude. We got all this combat factor going against these guys here with the artillery. Let's get to it. Actually, what I'm gonna do here, because in the musket and saber rules here, if a defending unit that's adjacent to a fellow defending unit is attacked, but they're not, they get to double their combat factor. So say if I had these 3 just attack Howe and we ignore him, well, he can automatically counterattack. And we're not going to let that happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have these 3 units here attack Howe, and then I'll have Sullivan attack Knifehausen right here. So he's got the advantage over Knifehausen. So we'll do that. We'll do 1 separate here, and then 1 here, and then we'll do the Washington and Howe. Okay, Howe has a total combat factor of 30. He's got 28 here plus the 2 combat factor of the buildings. So that gives him a total of 30 for combat factor. Oof. Okay, and the Colonials with this group here has a total of 50. So differential will definitely be a plus 10 on the chart. So let's go roll them. Colonials black dice, British red. British have a morale roll of a 5, and Colonials have a 4. Okay, we know the British passed their morale, so they rolled a 4. Ooh, we got a route check and a leader casualty roll. Oh boy. Okay, we're rolling for leader casualty. Roll a die. Leader killed on a 5-6. Check for each leader on both sides. So we're going to be rolling for 3 leaders here, man. Oh boy. First one we'll do is the British General Howe. And he is alive. Okay, leader check on green. And he survived. And leader check on Sterling. They survived. All leaders survived. Okay, obviously I opted to retreat and be disrupted instead of take a loss. So Howe retreat back to the hilltop over here. Now we got the fight between Sullivan and Knifehausen here. They can't attack because the rules say you can only attack once, and they already used it on Howe here. So these guys are all done, so it's just mono right here. Okay, Knifehausen has a combat factor of 7. I totally forgot that Sullivan is leading a bunch of light infantry dudes. So you cannot use that number 6 as a combat factor. You have to use the movement allowance, which are 3s. So they have a total of 9 plus Sullivan's 2. So it'll be 11 versus 7 here with a differential of 4. Ooh, I forgot all about that. Okay, British red, Colonials black. Okay, Colonials got a 3, and the morale roll for the British is a 2, which they definitely passed their morale. Okay, they rolled a 3, die roll of a 3 with differential 4, which is a DR, which is a defender's retreat. All units either disrupt or retreat 1 to 3 hexes. But I think it's a little bit different when the light infantry attack. Let's find out. Okay, everything's cool on the rules. The only thing is the skirmishers, light infantry, they cannot occupy this place. So they defeated Knifehausen, but they cannot move into the hex to occupy it. So we'll go ahead and retreat Knifehausen, and it's just a regular retreat. There's no disruption, and I'm going to have them regroup 1, 2 up here on the hilltop. And that takes care of that, and now we have the fight between Washington and Grant. Right now, if the British cannot knock off the Colonials in Market Square, game over. Okay, Grant has a combat factor of 29. Washington has a combat factor of 27. That's what the modifiers. So Washington is attacking with a -2 differential. Washington needs to roll a 5 or 6 here, man. Here we go, man. British is red, black is Colonials. Oh, crap. Washington rolled a 1. British rolled a 3 for their morale. Okay, Washington has to roll a morale check, and he gets a 6. Failed the morale check. Great. Great. So, Washington is disrupted, and they will retreat only 1 hex over here to Van Buren's Mill. And that takes care of the colonial phase there. So good news is they got Market Square here. So bad news is now it's the British turn to advance and to see if they could push them off. So remember, we got this reinforcements here that could come up. It's clear, so they're going to be able to come up in the fight here. So, all right, British turn. Okay, the British have one shot at doing this. Washington's disrupted, and the Colonials have already used their move. So, and this is the British move. So I'm going to go ahead and have Grant come on down here. Grant's got a stronger army here. Yeah, 24 plus his 3 is 27 combat factor. He can move 5 spaces here. Actually, he can move 1. He's got 5 movement allowance of 5. So I could go 1 here, and then he's on the road, and so go 2, 3. Trying to figure out how to do this. 4. So we got Grant here in front of Sterling. I was dumb. I should have moved this guy back because I just remembered it with disruption. You could actually take that off for free if he had marching orders, but he had to be 2 hexes away from the enemies. Well, I moved only back 1. So I have to roll to see what his morale is. You have to roll his morale. If he passes his morale check, which is going to be 2, it's 5, it's plus the leader makes it a 6, but -2 is a 4. So I have to roll less than a 4 for him to pass. Let's do that real quick. Okay, less than a 4. And yes, he passes morale. Okay, so you take the disruption off of Hal. And now I'm going to have Hal move in here. He's got a pretty strong force too. And he's going to be in with the building, so he gets a +2 combat factor there. I know I'm being real sloppy about this because, you got to use these stupid tweezers. So we got that there. I got Knifehausen over here. He's not that strong. I don't know if he could compete with Sterling. Sterling has his light infantry there, so it's 1821. Yeah, he doesn't have much at all. So, and I also got the guys back here. We could go 1, 2, go 3. How many movements he's got? Yeah, 4. That's about as far as he can go. And with the rules, I have to attack, 1 here and 1 here. If I put a guy here, I'd have to attack him there, because if I leave a defending unit by itself, like I think I already explained that before, then they get the counterattack and it's double their combat value. So that would be no bueno. So I'm going to go ahead and hold them back here. And we're just going to take a shot right here. Grant against Sterling. And then Hal against Green here to avoid that counterattack. And we'll see what happens, man. Alrighty, man. Grant's got a combat factor of 27, and Sterling has a combat factor of 27. So it's going to be 0 on the chart. So we got even Steven fight right here, man. Let's do it. Oh boy, this is big. Big for the British. We rolled a 3 for the British, and there's a morale factor of a 4 for Colonials. Okay, British rolled a 3, and since it's a 0, oh my gosh. Attacker retreat. Yep, an attack retreat check. If they pass their morale, apply parentheses, EX is exchange. Each side loses a step. Oh boy, let's see if they pass their morale. Yeah, they're going to pass their morale no matter. Yeah, 2, they passed their morale. Okay, I gave the 2nd Brigade of the British a step loss on Grant, and they'll do the same with Sterling. Crap. That's not good at all. That's going to force me to have to take Hal attack Sterling, and then take the chances of Green double up his combat factor against Hal. This isn't good, guys. Okay, Hal has a combat factor of 30 versus Sterling's 22. That's a differential of 8. All right, here we go. Okay, British rolled a 6, and the morale roll is a 1. Oh, my goodness. Okay, British rolled a 6, so it's a bottom line, and differential is 8, so it's going to be a defender route check. And they rolled a 1 on their morale. Actually, that's good. They passed. So they passed their morale. So then if morale check pass, apply parentheses result, which is going to be a DX, which is a retreat or loss. Morale check pass, unit may take a loss. If morale check failed, or if passed, and player chooses, all units disrupted and retreat 1 to 3 hexes. Well, this, I don't get this, but I'm going to take the loss. I'll go ahead and take Maryland off here. So there's their loss. And then they don't have to retreat. Failed. Because that was it. They already did the movements. They weren't able to push Sterling out of Market Garden. And the British had to do that and take over Market Square. And they failed. So the game is over, and the Colonials have won. Yay, Colonials. One thing I learned is this, these games are more of not more about loses or losses or whatever. It's more about keeping control of an area. Even though they lost there, they still were able to keep that area. Okay, got it. Colonials win. Again, and if you guys watch this, any comments down below, because I know I make mistakes on this all the time. This is Germantown, Washington strikes, and Washington actually prevails. We had altered the history. Thanks, guys, if you've been paying attention to this, and let me know what you guys think about this, and go from there. So look out for the next game. You guys take care, and keep gaming out there. Bye-bye.